Welcome back to Christmas with Michael Portillo. Stefan Kyriazis joins me now, both to reflect on British theatre in 2024 and to look ahead to the dazzling plans for stage performance in the new year. Stefan, you sat here again and again during the year being really enthusiastic, nay, quite over the top, about a number of productions. So I'm intrigued to know how you've chosen and what are going to be your favourites.
Sometimes there's misses amongst the hits, but we're concentrating happy thoughts for Christmas, Michael. And I've just picked out three. So much earlier in the year, Dorian Gray, which is with Sarah Snook, the Succession star, Oscar Wilde's fabulous novel, completely reinvented. It's still the thing that I think about the most. I came out of it absolutely reeling. It's a multimedia, multi-visual effect, video usage. She was on stage talking to herself on videos as other characters. There was a dinner party with 10 people or so, all played by her, all on screens. Incredible theatre, exciting theatre, and even if it was a little bit messy in places, it's everything we want to see moving forward, which a lot of other productions we won't talk about tried and failed at this year. So that, for me, massive hit. And then another huge slice of joy for me, the Mad Hatter's Tea Party at the Royal Opera House, but downstairs, which is Zoo Nation, which is a travelling kind of modern funk hip-hop dance company. Their reinvention of Lewis Carroll's story, filled with joy, filled with the thrill of dance and movement, live singing, but also bringing the story into all the different strands and tales about mental health and how it worked into each of the characters. It was so clever, it was so beautiful. At the interval, I was talking to a lady who was explaining bits to her daughter, and we had a whole conversation about it. And I'm like, how incredible is this? Got audience members up at the end to join in some of the dancing. Thrilling stuff, absolutely loved that. And then, not so much fun, but also incredible, The Years, which was on at the Almeida. And that is Annie Ernaux's memoir from 2008, I think. And it's 70 years of her life from 1941. But 5 actresses playing her through the years, all on stage at the same time, all also playing other roles. Almost performance art. Some things that I sometimes really hate. And I went in a little bit nervous. That very famously, it deals with some incredibly difficult themes about violations and other parts to do with women's issues. It was stunning. I felt like I'd come out of a dream at the end. I felt like I'd been immersed where, you know, one person becomes multitudes. We're all in there. Humanity, amazing. And the exciting news is the whole cast, Romola Garai, Deborah Findlay, Gina McKee, everybody is all coming back to the Harold Pinter in January for that, so people can catch it again. It's transferring to the West End. Such a success. So thrilling.
Listen, enough of the past. What about the future?
Well, lots and lots of Christmas gifts for this. And we're going to kick off very early with a little clip from, this is my favourite ballet. This is the ballet that got me into ballet, that I fell in love with ballet. It's on Yagen. There's only a tiny little snippet to give us a little glimpse of it, and then we'll talk.
Onegin. Now, I know this through the opera rather than the ballet. It's a story by Pushkin. Onegin must be one of the worst people ever to feature in fiction. He just destroys everybody, including himself. But it did look very beautiful.
He's an absolute cad, and certainly in the ballet, he knows how to make an entrance, so I love this. There's lots of swirling cloaks as people come in and out, and the fiddles and the orchestra are all going. And this is love, betrayed love, longing love, confused love, rejected love. Tchaikovsky's music, John Cranko's choreography from the 60s. It's classical ballet, which I love, but it's modern speed and pacing, which I love. So it's the best of both worlds. It's gorgeous, it's thrilling, there's duels, there's balls, there's young love, and then there's a climactic ending, and I cry every single time just from the sheer glory of it. So that is on at the Royal Opera House.
Let me book straight away, or better still, maybe take you. What else have you got for us?
We've got tons coming up. So then, also very exciting, Jonathan Bailey, man of the moment, hottest man, quite literally, in the planet at the moment. He's in Wicked the film, he's been in Bridgerton, and now he is coming to do Richard II at the Bridge Theatre. And that is going to be very, very exciting. I want to see what's going to happen with that. We've had everyone from kind of all the way through from Paul Schofield onwards. I saw Eddie Redmayne do it at the Donmar about 2011. But Bailey is obviously very different. He's got the charisma and the charm, and this is the horribly flawed king that's an absolute delight and a charmer, but a disastrous monarch building to a horrible tragedy. So looking forward to that.
And the Bridge Great Theatre.
Yes, from February the 10th. And then moving on from that, we've got more Shakespeare. So Much Ado About Nothing. Now, this is Jamie Lloyd back again. He is globally dominating. Schertzinger's just gone into Sunset Boulevard on Broadway. Keanu Reeves is going to go into his Waiting for Godot on Broadway. We've got Tom Hiddleston and Hayley Atwell. Much Ado About Nothing. Now, that's at the Theatre Royal Drury Lane. And I would say before that, which is this year, opening this week, we've also got Sigourney Weaver as Prospero in The Tempest from Jamie Lloyd, again at the Theatre Royal Drury Lane. I have mixed feelings about what he does. I loved some of his stuff years ago with James McAvoy and Cyrano, but he's all very much handheld cameras, big projections, people with microphones, actors going out onto the street.
Yeah.
Hasn't always worked for me, but these are names. I want to see Sigourney Weaver, Tom Hiddleston and Hayley Atwell. Same with Tom Holland this year. Let's see. Exciting, but let's see. And then after that, we've got swept off, more tragedy, The Great Gatsby, but a big musical coming in from Broadway very fast. It only opened on Broadway this year, transferring into London, and that's going into the Coliseum in April, and we've got a little clip of that as well.
I am sold on that.
Yeah,
and a huge theatre, huge stage.
It's a big production.
It'll do very well.
So we're hoping so. I mean, the news is already from The Devil Wears Prada, which I didn't love, but audiences are loving. That is selling, and that's selling into October. So there is a place for these big, spectacular musicals, and we need that to kind of generate the West End. F. Scott Fitzgerald's classic story. It only won, I think, the Tony Award for Best Costume. It wasn't nominated for Best Musical, but has been doing very well. And we need a bit of kind of glitz, glamour and a big new musical rather than always rehashing the other one. So that one I'm excited to see. And then that is followed by the exact opposite. We're going to Elektra, which, as you know, is apparently an opera, but we don't talk about we don't talk about opera on this
Richard
show.
Strauss. Yeah.
We don't.
But we're talking Greek tragedy here.
We are talking Sophocles 2,500 years ago.
We're talking horrors.
We are talking. Well, the Greeks, they gave great roles to women 2,500 years ago. Like modern people could take note from what they were doing, but it never ends well. But it's a hell of a part. So yeah, this is Elektra and her brother wanting to get revenge on Clytemnestra, their mother, for Agamemnon's murder after the Trojan War. So yeah, just a little bit of family bother.
Bundle of laughs.
Brie Larson, massive Hollywood star, coming in for that one. So that's very exciting. And that actually previews first in Brighton at the Theatre Royal. So that's starting very soon, 15th of January. Transfer again into London, Duke of York's from January the 25th. I'm excited about that. And Brie Larson, Oscar winner for Room. So we'll ignore some of her Marvel stuff, which hasn't always worked out. But very exciting to see that. And then we have yet more huge names. Cate Blanchett hasn't been on stage for a very long time in London. We're excited about that. She's going into The Seagull. So this is Chekhov, obviously. We've only just had one with Emilia Clarke and Indira Varma, which I actually really enjoyed. And I think that was a Jamie Lloyd production, all in kind of plywood box set, sitting on plastic chairs, but really enjoyed it. This is Thomas Ostermeyer, German controversial director. Did Enemy of the People this year. I did not love it, but Cate Blanchett, Chekhov, can't wait. And then we've got a little bit of joy. You can have your Puccini and your opera. I will have Alan Menken and Disney. Thank you very much. I love a Disney tune. And we've got Hercules coming into London.
Hercules is Disney?
There's a cartoon, darling, as well. So we might have passed you by. It's a fabulous cartoon with gospel, the Fates and the gospel singers. It's gorgeous. We've got a tiny little clip because it opened in Germany first. you can keep your Shakespeares and your Ibsens. This show has got a line, how much does a Grecian earn? And it's in one of the main songs, and every time I hear it, it makes me smile. So I'm looking forward to that. Theatre Royal Drury Lane again from June. I'll basically be living in that theatre.
And you've just got a very brief moment for your last one.
And another one of my absolute favourite actors. So Ewan McGregor coming in to do my Master Builder, which is The Master Builder Ibsen's, but it's a new working by Lila Rycek, and it's been sort of adapted and modernised. Another tragic story, meditation on old age versus youth. Not so cheery, but my goodness, huge names coming into London. Exciting stuff.
Stefan, I hope people have taken notes, and if not, they can they can watch again on playback, because you've given us the most amazing tips for 2025. Very Merry Christmas to you. And to end our festive outing, I'll be joined shortly by Hannah Harley-Young to explore what makes the perfect Christmas cheese board. This is Christmas with Michael Portillo, only on GB News.
This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
Joined by international life coach Cheryl Findlay, who has joined forces with a Liverpool business owner, Kate Hill, of sustainable sportswear brand Lola Star, to empower women and inspire women across the nation. And to celebrate this partnership with the new Lola Star collection, the two will be hosting an exclusive event next Saturday.
The sportswear brand was launched after, well, your story. You lost how much weight?
So 16 stone, which is over 220 pounds, which
wow.
I know is quite significant. But during that kind of decade-long journey, I learned a lot about myself, and I learned a lot about what it takes to be successful, to be happy, to be well, and to just live an incredible life every day.
Are you giving them goals to work towards or helping them structure their life?
Yeah, so I don't give out goals, absolutely not. It's all about whatever an individual wants. So what we do to begin with is we understand, like, where are you now? Where are you thriving? Where do you feel really happy and excited in your life? And what's lacking? Like, where would you like to feel better? Where would you like to improve? And then we take it from there.
I'd love to take that on board. I'd love to be my true self and fulfil my potential. So have you got any practical tips on how to do that?
Yeah, so we start with clarity, right? Like, you need to know, it's such a busy, fast-paced world we live in. There's so much sensory overload. You know, it'd be so easy to be distracted. So we need to kind of quiet all that noise down and start with, where do I want to focus? Pick 2 or 3 things. Where do I want to focus? And then we define the goal. What would I like that area of my life to look, not just look like, but feel like? And then we take it from there. So that's where you would start. I actually had a cancer diagnosis in 2019.
Oh.
And I just decided if I was going to be lucky enough to be on the other side of it, I wasn't going to play small anymore.
GB News, the people's...
Join me, Camilla Tominey, for a frank and honest discussion with those in power that cuts through the spin and gets to the heart of the issues shaping our nation.
You haven't confirmed that you want to stand as leader, but you haven't ruled it out either.
This report basically says that he's not fit to stand trial. Is he indecisive? Incompetent?
I deliver the dose of reality Westminster needs. That's the Camilla Tominey Show at 9:30 every Sunday on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi there, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and I'm going to take a second to tell you all about my show, Dubes & Co. We start off with the issues of the day. We then bring in both sides of the arguments. We get rid of the disrespect, and then you throw me into the mix. And trust me, I'll tell it exactly how it is. And then, of course, the magic ingredient, you at home. We mix it all together, and what have we got? In my opinion, the best debate show in town. Monday to Friday, 6 till 7 on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Welcome back to Christmas with Michael Portillo. Cheese provides for many of us the perfect savoury ending to a meal. At Christmas time, even those who throughout the year steer clear of cheddar and camembert feel a compulsion to provide a cheese board groaning with diversity. But how many of us go that step further and thoughtfully offer our guests a chutney suited to each variety? The founder and host of the Crazy Sexy Food podcast, Hannah Harley-Young, joins me now with her choice of cheese and chutney pairings. Welcome back to the programme. So do you think that chutney is a useful accompaniment to cheese.
Oh, absolutely. I just want to just say, first and foremost, this is possibly my favourite subject to talk about. I love cheese more than life, possibly more than my firstborn. And I think what's so lovely about the chutneys is that I do have 4 different cheeses for you, 4 different chutneys. Some cheeses, such as a Stilton, quite strong, quite harsh. You know, it's got the blue mould that I really love. But to sort of offset that, a little bit of sweetness in a chutney really pairs very well. So I don't know if you want to try some.
I certainly do. But I would propose to you that we don't start with the blue, because I always think you move upwards in the strength of taste.
Couldn't agree more.
So probably our blue is going to be the last. Now, I'm just going to pour you some bubbles here.
Thank you so much.
I would normally have red wine with cheese.
Me too.
But at this festive season, I think we can make an exception and have some bubbles.
Absolutely.
All right, so is that a cheddar that's lurking over here?
That is a cheddar. Now, what I've paired with that is a British ale and onion chutney.
Ooh.
I think also when you think about sort of cheddar, you know, great British cheese. You sort of got this lovely sort of like ale and the onion, cheese and onion, sort of cheddar and onion, perfect pairing. So this is this one. So have a little bit of that. I'd love to know what you think. Quite like the colour. You can see it's quite caramelised.
Just positioning that carefully on top of my cheese.
That looks
good. I think it's going to be very good.
I like it. You're going straight without even a cracker. Good for you.
I love the purity of cheese. I don't often eat it with crackers. I don't often eat it with bread. I never eat it with butter.
That's very French.
That is a delightful
cheese
start.
with butter.
Yeah. Oh, and talking French, do you have a view on whether we should have our cheese before or after our pudding?
Ooh, that's a controversial question. I personally, you're talking to someone that doesn't have a huge sweet tooth. I would actually forego pudding for the cheese board. What makes me nervous is that if I have it after a pudding, will I be too full to really go for the cheeses? But I believe tradition sort of calls it that the cheeses do end the meal, so to speak. Red Leicester. This reminds me of my childhood, Red Leicester.
Tell me.
It's just, I feel like, I don't know, as a child of sort of the 80s and 90s, it was something you'd put into your sandwiches. I think it was just an easy cheese. But, sorry, we must try it with this. This is a chili pepper chutney. Now, what I quite like about this, I find Red Leicester perhaps the mildest of some of these here.
Yes.
At least with the chili, we're elevating it a bit. It's giving us a little bit of a tang, a little bit of spice.
Yes, I must say you've slightly underclubbed the selection for me. I would go for some stronger flavours. I mean, obviously the Stilton is going to be splendid. So you have raised this one with a little chilli.
Nice. That might be, for me, a little too sweet. I'd probably want actually a little bit more heat. How do you feel about that?
I agree entirely.
Yeah.
I'm not getting much of the heat through there.
No.
However, we're advising people to go and look for a chilli chutney.
Absolutely.
Which will go with your Red Leicester.
Yes.
Now, this is where things get messy.
Yes, but I think very exciting, and we're starting to head towards the kinds of cheeses that I really like. I personally say the rule of thumb with the cheese, the smellier, the runnier, the better.
Is this a camembert?
This is a brie.
Oh, sorry, this is
a brie. And for this one, I have paired it actually with quince.
Excellent.
So this is quince.
Quince is very popular in Spain.
Yes, this is quince and pear. So here's a little... Why don't you get a little bit of that?
This is getting messy.
Yes. But that's what the festive season is all about.
Yes. I just love quince jelly. This is going to do very well. So I would normally have this with...
there we go.
Look at that.
There we go. That is what we're looking for.
No one's looking. I'll pop that in my mouth.
I mean, tell me, sort of in terms of cheeses, where do you align yourself? Where's your favourite country for cheeses?
Maybe Scotland.
OK. I'd love to know more about Scottish cheeses.
I'd love to know more too, but Scotland, I think, is doing phenomenally well in cheese at the moment. We're slightly short of time, and we need to move on.
We've got to finish strong.
To the Stilton.
We've got to finish strong with the Stilton. Right. Stilton is being paired. Wait for this one. Fig, apple, and balsamic. So again...
Makes a lot of sense to me.
Yes. As I said, you know, Stilton is probably the strongest on this board. We need a bit of sweetness to offset it. I know that it's a bit of a love-hate relationship people have with Stilton. I personally love it.
You can see all the lovely little pips of the figs.
Oh, yes. I'm going to try some of this.
What a lovely fruit the fig is. You left the best for last.
That is a brilliant combination. I love that.
Well done, Hannah. Tell me about this love affair with cheese then. When did it begin?
Well, interestingly, as a child, I hated cheese. And I was known to have pizzas without cheese on it. If I was in a restaurant, I didn't want melted cheese on things. And then I started becoming in love. I fell in love with Parmesan. And I was known to have Parmesan sandwiches because I'm an odd child.
What a place to start. You started with one of the strongest flavours that many people only grow into over a lifetime.
Yes.
And that was your beginning. Thank you very much, Hannah Harley-Young.
Thank you.
Not just for today, but for all the times you've been on this programme during the year. And, dear viewer, that concludes our special Christmas episode. I thank you all for joining me here on GB News today and during the year, which will shortly be ending. I'll return on the 5th of January. I wish you and your families a very happy Christmas time, filled with love and joy. I hope that 2025 will be a happy one and a healthy one for you. And may the year bring peace to those afflicted by terror and by war. Thank you.
Heavy showers first thing will be followed by a warm, cosy day. Boxed boilers, sponsors of weather on GB News.
Hello there, good evening. Hope you enjoyed a wonderful Christmas. If you have further festive celebrations on Boxing Day, then many of us can expect quite similar conditions to what we've seen around today. We hold on to a very similar pattern with high pressure spreading its way in across southern areas of the UK. Meanwhile, this cold front is slowly slipping its way into the northwest, bringing more in the way of cloud and outbreaks of rain here. They'll push into parts of central Scotland into the early hours of Boxing Day morning, also into Northern Ireland as well. Generally further towards the south, staying drier, a few clear spells in there and some fog patches around also, but most of us certainly not seeing too chilly overnight and definitely frost free as we kick off Boxing Day morning. For the far north of Scotland, there will be a few brighter spells around on Boxing Day now that that cold front has slowly pushed southwards. Beyond them, a few showers still to cater for. The bulk of that rain will be light and patchy, but it is going to be across central areas of Scotland, spreading its way in for Northern Ireland first thing in the morning, hopefully drying up a touch here into the afternoon. The best chance of seeing some sunshine for parts of northeast England as well as northeastern areas of Wales. Otherwise, a lot of central and southern areas will see quite a lot of cloud throughout Boxing Day. So if you are heading out for a walk, whilst it will be dry in the south, generally quite grey skies for many